guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. I'm sure you can tell that one, someone is missing, Miss Gloria, and two, I'm in a completely different location. I am actually at my dad's house and I promised you guys a tour and I've already shot it. I was going to combine it with seeing my tattoo artist, but they unfortunately were sick and we've had to rearrange our appointment. So don't worry, it's coming. You guys will see that very soon. And I will also talk at the end of the review about some things that are going to be coming up on the channel. So let's get into our L Word review for season 4, episode 5, Les Girls, Lay Girls, however you want to pronounce it. And then we will talk more after we've done our review. So this episode obviously comes after the legendary basketball episode, but we have so much going on in this episode. It's one of those ones where when you read the synopsis, you don't really think that much is going to go on, but we meet a ton of new characters and people that will go on pretty much, you know, most of them until the end of the show. And we do also get to know some of our other characters that have only, you know, briefly appeared, like Paige and things. And then of course Tasha, Jodi, Tom, who are with us pretty much until the end of the series of the L Word. As always, going character by character, starting off with Jenny. And Jenny, like, the last episode with the whole dog thing, it was just a disaster, and that scene is horrible where they have to put the poor dog down, and I think there's a brief moment where Jenny feels bad, but overall it's just, she's lost the plot. And the whole thing with going out to dinner with Stacey Merkin's girlfriend is just, oh, it's so cringe. And Jenny is basically egging her on to talk crap about her girlfriend. I did think it was really funny at the very end whenever they they almost run into Stacey Merkin and her girlfriend at the club, and it's pretty funny when Jenny's just trying to find any way to avoid them at the nightclub. Kit and Angus, just what is going on? I mean, Angus, this storyline always really bothered me because I actually really liked Angus and Kit. I thought they were a great relationship. I really liked Angus and I've always liked Kit. So I hated that they made him a cheater, and it was such an not that there's ever justification for a cheat, but it was just so, it was the nanny that he had no sort of like relationship with or anything. It was just like the grossest, cheapest cheat you could ever possibly come across. And I also really dislike that Hazel woman. I know like the whole cheating thing probably taints my view of her, but I just didn't like her from the beginning. And the whole, like, obviously Angus is the one in the relationship, he's the cheater too, but she just really, you know, knew he was going through a bad time and kind of pressured the whole thing. I'll talk more about the Bette and Tina scene where Tina goes and meets Bette after she's caught Angus and Hazel, or seen them anyway, whenever I talk about Bette and Tina towards the end. Shane's relationship with Paige kind of moves on a little bit more this episode. We've obviously met Paige before, but it was very briefly. We get to know her a bit more in this episode and also see that she blatantly has a huge crush on Shane. And, you know, Shane confesses to her about not having medical insurance and not really knowing what she's doing and everything. So it is kind of a comfort to Shane to have someone else, you know, help her out and say, you know, I'm struggling too. Max, we don't have too much going on with Max this episode. He's in one small scene at work and one small scene with Jenny, Shane and Alice whenever it's come out about Les Girls, and I'll talk about that at the end obviously because I didn't talk about it with Jenny and how it, because it basically affected everyone. and it's the beginning of the whole Les Girls thing. But Max is very relieved to learn that when he's broken up with his boss's daughter, that she hasn't actually told the boss that Max is trans, and we even see him writing out like a resignation letter, and you know, he's obviously very, very relieved. And the boss is kind of like, oh yeah, she goes through boyfriends, don't worry about it, you know, you're still one of the guys. So Max is safe for now anyway. Helena is fantastic in this episode now that she's basically started this catering company on a whim of Alice saying, oh, Helena's a caterer, and it looks like she's doing a pretty awesome job up until obviously all the food is contaminated with glass. But Helena is, you know, doing what she can, putting her whole thought, effort, everything behind it that she's got. And when she's at Phyllis's party, she falls back a bit into the whole Helena smoozing people, and you know, she's enjoying that lifestyle that she used to have that obviously is so far removed from what she's doing now. Alice is absolutely fantastic in this episode. The part where she goes over, you know, obviously furious to Jenny and Shane's, and before the build up with Helena where she's telling Helena, you know, the curious bisexual and this and Bev and Nina, and it's just so funny the way Alice is describing it. And then the conversation between her and Jenny is pure, like Elwood at his finest. And the writing sometimes can just be so clever and good on this show. And obviously we know as well, you know, it's not great sometimes, but this scene with them, and even, you know, Shane and Max are there, but it's all Jenny and Alice. The line that was my absolute favorite was when Alice is saying back to Jenny, oh, imagination, that's what you used when you barely changed our names. Like, it feels a bit like some of the things that Alice is saying is Alice acting as the audience. So it's just so clever. And the whole Monet thing, I mean, that has been, you know, done to death, because I think everybody just thinks this scene is like hilarious. I love when Alice is telling, you know, Helena what Les Girls is about and everything, and it kind of gives us, the viewers, a sum up of everything, so that's really nice as well. And one of the other big things that happens for Alice in this episode is the whole thing with Phyllis, and obviously Alice breaking it off after she goes to drop something off to Helena at Phyllis's party. She sees Phyllis's husband, and Phyllis is trying to tell her, you know, our marriage is just kind of a superficial aesthetic thing, you know, we haven't been in an actual relationship for years. But Alice, which is one thing I love about her, is that she is not a cheater in any way, shape or form, and you can just see the reaction that she has. I mean, she was kind of having fun with Phyllis and also a tiny bit loving messing with Bette, but now that she actually sees in front of her that Phyllis has a husband and a family, it's a no-go for her. And I really admire that about the character. I think that she really knows herself and is strong in her convictions. So I think that the second that she realized, oh, Phyllis has this whole other side to her life, and what I'm doing is negatively affecting these people if they ever found out, which, you know, people always nearly find out about these things. So I really admire Alice for just firmly being like, no, this has to stop, sorry, it's over. And of course, even though Alice is in her lead singer of the Village People hat, she meets Tasha in this episode. And I mean, when we see Tasha in this episode, she's so like stern to the point. You see that little glimmer when she starts talking about her motorcycle and like saying to Alice she'll take her out. And I think that's the Tasha that we know and love in there. So really excited to start seeing Tasha and Alice unfolding their relationship on the show, because they are one of my favorite couples, and I would love to know what happened to them in Generation Q also. So on to my favorites, Bette and Tina. In this episode, I actually can talk about them a little bit together, and also split off Bette because Tina, again, season 4, we just don't get a lot of Tina, especially in the beginning. So Tina, obviously with Henry when they're coming home, sees that Hazel and Angus are hooking up, and Tina and Henry seem to actually be having an interesting conversation going about Bette and everything, so I would have loved to hear more about that, but they actually hide from them because they don't want them to know that they've seen them. And I think this conversation and Tina calling Bette, wanting to see her in person, is just piece of proof 9,000 million that there is no way on this earth that Tina would have left Bette, left Angie, and not gone to Kit's funeral. She loves Kit. She's had a relationship with her for, well, when Generation Q's on, like over 20 years. They're super close. She's the aunt of her niece. It's just lunacy that they tried this in Generation Q. So again, hopefully they rectify this issue with Tina in season 2 and show that she is not that person anymore. She went out, she found herself. Stop going back to season 1 of the original L Word issues. And I know they only had 8 episodes, and I know they only had Laurel for a limited time, and maybe they didn't even know they were getting her till very close to when they shot. But I'm just holding out hope that we get our Tina rectified and her season 5, season 6 badass personality back, and we get our happy ending of Bette and Tina, because we're owed it, people. We are owed it. Getting off my soapbox now, and that's pretty much it for Tina this episode. But we do get a lot more of Bette, and of course we meet Jodi and Tom in this episode, and the whole thing is still going on about Nadia. At the beginning, Jodi calls Bette out and says, "Oh, you still effing with Nadia?" And Bette is obviously shocked. We don't see Jessica Capshaw again, Nadia, so we had our fun time with her on the show for a few episodes, but as we know, the repercussions are still coming for Bette. We do have those great scenes at Phyllis's party where Bette and Jodi and Tom are partaking in a certain activity that I don't think I'm allowed to mention on here, but yeah, if you're in a place where that's okay. My sister lives in Oregon. I think it's great. It's a nice relaxing thing to do as long as you're in a place where it's okay. And I really enjoyed seeing that side of Bette and just relaxing and kind of breaking the rules and stuff. I am not a huge Jodi fan or Tom fan because of the way Tom absolutely screwed Max, but yeah, this scene and them at the party is like a fun bit, and I love the way they just, you know, kind of make fun of Bette a little bit too. And that is pretty much it for this episode, guys. Overall, like I said, we had a lot going on, a lot of new characters coming in, and everybody kind of having these, you know, Angus and Hazel happens, and just setting up a lot of what is going to happen through the rest of the season. Shane and Paige, Alice and Tasha, Helena with her company, Bette and Jodi, obviously the foreshadowing of the Bette and Nadia thing for the next episode too. So I really enjoyed this episode, but the absolute highlight was the Alice and Jenny Les Girls whole thing, because I actually really enjoyed the Les Girls thing with the whole story movie within a show. I thought it was great, and I loved how they got like Tina and other people involved, and one of the highlights is of course the party that they have at Shane and Jenny's too. So I know that's not till next season, but that one's really good too. As I was saying at the start of the video, I am looking to do some other things on the channel. I spoke a while ago about doing lives, and with certain things happening in the world and the UK looking like they're going to be doing certain areas, you know, in this tiered lockdown system, I would really like to do some lives. And that's where basically, I mean, I'm sure most people know what YouTube lives are, where I like turn on my camera and it's us talking like in a chat in real time. We could watch an episode, we could, you know, talk about anything you like, watch something completely different. I'm up for anything. If anyone has any thoughts or suggestions, please let me know down in the comment section. And I'm gonna put a poll on either Twitter or Instagram saying what day would be best. I know we've got a bunch of time zones, but also if you missed the live, I will post it on my channel so you can watch it afterwards. I just thought I'd quickly show you where I'll be doing the lives, putting it up on this big screen. There's actually a pool behind here. It's one of those, like, you know, you turn it on like a lap pool, you know, you swim against the current. So yeah, I'm planning on doing my lives here, and yeah, we'll like sit here and put you guys up on the big screen. I've got some more videos coming up over the weekend and next week. I'm gonna do another vlog. I have another L-word video coming out, and of course I'll do my retro review as always during the week. And as always, thank you so much for watching, guys. Please consider giving the video a like if you enjoyed it, as it really helps out the channel. And if you're not subscribed, why not subscribe? I've just hit 3,000 subscribers, which I am just unbelievably happy about. And if you're subscribed and you've liked, if you drop a comment in the comment section as well, you'll be entered into a draw to win an L-word shirt. And also please consider checking me out on social media. I post a lot of content, especially on Instagram, so check me out over there too. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Make sure that you're staying safe, taking care of yourselves, and I'll see you soon, guys. Bye.